Hello, and welcome back to the Boston Commune. This week's incredulous installment will feature commentary from comrades Scott, Ellie, me, and Kat, aka Running with Knives. We will discuss Golden State woes, Google, Assange, the masses, seals and eels, and most importantly, sex worker solidarity. So please do us a favor and share this content. Do yourself a favor and enjoy your epoch.
We forget the luck, and meritocracy invites us, almost, to forget the good luck that helps us on our way.
Now recording.
People don't even have to know what I said we aren't going to include. It'll just be a mystery. I have to say, I'm actually genuinely impressed by Jesse's timing with when he gets Craig in here. It's always right after or right before someone says something really important, especially at the end of episodes. Someone says something that's a perfect little button, and then Craig leaves. It's great every time.
It's an art form.
Yeah, man. You've worked out your camaraderie with Craig, and you got him to work like a great tool for us, Jesse. Thank you. What the fuck am I saying?
Yeah, like a true comrade, I utilize another being to carry out my will.
It's real.
It's a robot, dude. It's not.
It's not one of those Boston Dynamics robots. It can't kill you. It's only in the digital sphere.
I don't know.
Can you dance though?
You don't know that. I would be careful.
That's true. I don't know if Craig can dance. If Craig can't dance, then
Craig can dance.
And welcome back to the Epoch, folks. Joe's gonna be gone again this week, so I'm doing the news again. Feels great to have a dominant amount of real estate in each episode. No, it doesn't at all. I actually kind of hate it. Anyways, yeah. So what I want to start with is Vaughn and Albertsons in California have fired their union delivery drivers in favor of using DoorDash because of Prop 22. So the beginning of the neo-feudalist hellscape that we've been talking about for a while is here. It has begun. Welcome to it. This is the great reset of capitalism that we've been promised. Future's so bright, we gotta wear shades.
Pretty sunny out there. Gotta wear shades.
It is California, you know?
When I was growing up, I had to wear sunscreen literally every day, even in the winter.
Did you have something about California you wanted to talk about a little bit?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, there's not a whole lot to say, just that I think we kind of touched on it in the acid communism episode. It's there's these remnants of 60s and 70s counterculture in the Bay Area, and they're sort of crashing into this horrific hyper-capitalism of Silicon Valley, and just so many things happen. And I don't know. It's appropriate that the beginning of the end or whatever is happening in California. I'm not surprised at all.
Yeah. I mean, okay. And I'm not trying to be acceleration. Well, I mean, I guess I am an accelerationist, and I guess can be doom built. But at the same time, there's a part of this where America, there is a fertile ground for revolution, but very far off. What I mean by that is the true tools of exploitation that America has wrought throughout the rest of the world really haven't been turned inward yet. And when they are, that is when revolution can happen in this country. And this is the beginning of that. And that is the only silver lining here, is that this is the beginning of the actual conditions of revolution coming to America. And, it's not super great in the meantime, but still, that's the one tiny little sliver of hope that we can look for. And again, that, if the great reset of capitalism that they are planning to unveil after they figure out the COVID shit is to be, listen to TrueAnon to that, to get that stuff. If that is to roll out, then I do think that will be the true conditions for a revolution in America. But as it stands right now, a revolution, if it's going to happen in the world, it will happen in the global south or the South Pacific, which will still be positive because there's supply chains and production that it will will fuck up. Moving on. The next story I want to talk about, speaking of unions and collective action, is Google has unionized. It's a little, there's elements.
It's like
Yeah.
cringy.
Yeah, exactly. There's elements to it that are weird because it's kind of coming from the HR department of Google, which means then it's kind of going to be a union controlled by the company.
It's
And
it's like a Trotskyist union.
The problem is that it's be suspect of this union. Like unions, they're not all great. Some of them are designed specifically to work for capital and to keep capital protected instead of trying to get over the hill. And so for this, I'm happy that there's some collective action. But it's not they're not unionizing for better wages or better working conditions. It's just we just want to be a collective force. And it's okay, are you getting anything material out of it? And it's like Jess said, it's cringe. It has its issues. I just want to talk about it a little bit because any sort of action to unionize any workplace should be encouraged until we get down to the finer details where we are now. But every workplace should be unionized. Every effort put forward to try to reach a unionized and socialized community within a workplace that runs a workplace, that should be encouraged. And so, seeing that the biggest company is making efforts to make an appeal towards a union is positive. This comes with a lot of cringy negative shit, but still, there's silver linings here. Everything is in degrees. And lastly, does anybody have anything to say about Google?
It sounds almost like I don't want to say a PR stunt per se, but it's
I don't think it's unfair to say that.
You can't really create working class politics from the top down.
Yeah, precisely.
That's why I made the Trotskyist joke. The idea that the bourgeoisie have to lead the revolution before the workers and the peasants,
Hey, that's the French Revolution. Look where it got us.
Yeah, because France has
got
clean
fucking
hands.
Napoleon.
Yeah. Actually, I was just reading what was I? Just to distill the point. The point is that France's empire is still there. It's just not in France. It's like the French, the working class and the exploited of the French empire do not live in France, is what I'm trying to say. Whatever.
I mean, it's a good point.
No, we're moving on.
Wait, what just happened?
There's probably working class employees at Google, but a lot of them arguably are not.
I dropped out for a second. What happened?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Okay. I'll listen back and discover.
No, you don't have to. I forgot what I was going to say something about France. I forgot.
What are you talking? You say about how they throw bathtubs through windows now?
And they're a police state?
No, it's just I don't know. The French get elevated to this level of radical, revolutionary, working class people, but I feel it's totally overlooks the fact that even just the base level quality of life in France was built off of the labor of African slaves. It's the same kind of thing that Norway has going.
Yeah.
Where, it's not really their material wealth. It's shit that they've been able to gather from the labor of other nations.
Pretty much. And yeah, the French Revolution again, it was mostly a bourgeois and middle class revolution. So, and lastly, Julian Assange. It's not going to be extradited.
Hold on one second. I feel I do have to just disclaimer. The United States is the same fucking way. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, yeah. But would you like to speak about Assange, Jesse?
Yeah. I think it's funny.
that we just can't get him?
No.
He's the one that got away.
I think it's funny. It's funny because the British courts basically said we think he deserves to be extradited for this, but the United States prison system is so fucked up. It just would be a bad idea to do that. So it's the American exceptionalism. The facade is crumbling quickly, folks.
That is fantastic. Well, again, it's all about the silver lining, which means, I have mixed feelings on Mr. Assange, but, I think he should be freed. I think the charges against him are rather frivolous at best. Very suspect. I don't know if anybody else has an opinion on it.
On principle, I think any kind of journalism that exposes war crimes is necessary for our political education. So, I don't really give a fuck about what his personal politics are, per se.
Yeah. And I feel journalistic efforts like that are going to run into things that will often make you feel not necessarily positive towards the institution that is bringing you the information. But still, I think it is important, like Jesse said.
It doesn't really affect like my feelings about the stuff he's been tried for. Like as a person, objectively, he seems like pretty terrible, pretty gross. Like he's a huge creep.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's many sides to it.
Yeah, like he's not being prosecuted for being a creep. He's being prosecuted for like basically butting heads with American intelligence agencies, which is praxis.
Yeah, like that's legit. I don't know. There's creeps everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, despite his character, he has done quite a lot of good.
I would hope that, he can go on to do more good, and that anyone who might wind up victimized by him has by now figured out that they should stay the fuck away. And there you go. Everybody wins.
You don't want your empire to be exposed doing bad shit. Don't do bad shit. I think that's where it should start.
Yeah, the fact that treason is still punishable by death.
Yeah, I mean, they're not wrong. The U.S. prison system is pretty fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, the argument was basically whether or not Julian Assange currently has like a significant mental illness, he will if he ends up in an American prison.
Yeah.
Jesse.
Yeah?
How rabid are the Radlibs?
Oh, the rabid Radlibs.
Oh, God.
They're so rabid. All right.
Okay, who is this? What voice is that?
I don't know. I recorded this in advance. I don't know. It's been obnoxious to I guess I could toggle push to talk. I'll try and do it that way just because I can't really keep the hotkey down and navigate. So I will transfer to voice activated. Hopefully this works. I don't know how well it'll work, but I'm hoping it works.
Cross your fingers, podcast listeners.
Okay, so the subject of this segment is a response to a post in the Bernie Sanders Rare Meme Repository Facebook group. Somebody commented, quote, "Kentucky is a scourge on this country for continuing to re-elect this monster." And that was in reference to Mitch McConnell. And here is my analysis of that. The argument put forth here is simple in nearly every regard, exemplifying the ignorance, hypocrisy, and pomposity at the core of radical liberalism. My attempts to encourage this person to reconsider their stance were dismissed entirely. Only upon reflection did I recognize this exchange as an anecdote of the reactionary tendency to paint the masses with the broad brush of so-called representative democracy. I'd like to address the baseline assumptions behind the assertion that Kentucky is a scourge on this country. Every time I read scourge, I think of that speech where Trump kept saying scourge.
Together we will end the scourge.
I'd like to address the baseline assumptions behind the assertion that Kentucky is a scourge on this country for continuing to re-elect McConnell. Firstly, the electorate is not synonymous with the whole. Leaving aside all matters of voter suppression tactics and institutional barriers, McConnell won the general state Senate race this past year with not a majority, but a plurality of votes, amounting to about 27% of the state population. Prior to 2020, McConnell had never received more than 1 million votes in any race, despite Kentucky being home to some 4.5 million people. As of 2020, registered Democrats outnumber registered Republicans in the state by nearly 200,000. Both the current governor and lieutenant governor are Democrats, and the Democratic Party maintained an unbroken majority in the Kentucky State House for nearly a century, from 1922 to 2017. To me, this matters very little, but to the liberal ideologue, this constitutes the moral fabric of society. If we pretend that elected officials truly represent the collective, then we can infer that the people of Kentucky, quantitatively more liberal on paper, voted against their own party. This would surely be difficult to make sense of without a deeper understanding of the dynamics at play, e.g. a dialectical materialist framing. But from a purely partisan standpoint, it appears that Kentucky is fundamentally broken, and thus must be done away with entirely, though it could have been fixed had McGrath replaced McConnell. Now we can return to reality, wherein the McGrath campaign burned through tens of millions of dollars, not to defeat her Republican opponent, but to defeat her progressive primary challenger, Charles Booker, and to position herself as a pro-Trump Democrat, ultimately losing to the deeply entrenched and disliked McConnell, wherein Kentucky has remained one of the poorest states in the nation, under both Democratic Party and Republican Party leadership, wherein the white former breadwinners are encouraged to blame their economic woes on the unfair trade policy of China, or tech giants operating in liberal coastal cities, or African Americans on food stamps, or Soros-funded Antifa soy boy super soldiers, rather than the mechanisms of capitalism, wherein public funding has run dry, manual laborers have been laid off without recourse, mining towns are left polluted and abandoned by industry, wherein healthcare facilities are understaffed, the workers underpaid, the services unaffordable, wherein substance use disorders are commonplace, and the only viable alternative to isolated poverty is a military contract, wherein the rhetoric of economic nationalism and the promise of a return to easier days inspires more hope than the glamour of rainbow capitalism, wherein those who yearn for systemic change have divested from the political process entirely. We recognize, in this reality, the potential for political education and mobilization of the working class. The sickle and hammer is emblematic of our unified struggle, the struggle of the masses, of the rural and the urban, from the subway to the cornfields, against the ruling class, the capitalists, the bourgeoisie, the state. To vilify and alienate the masses, as the subject of this segment has done, is reactionary and anti-revolutionary to its fundament. We must keep separate in our rhetoric the will of the people and the organs of power as they are currently configured, for they represent the opposing forces of our primary dialectic. We must instead reach out to the underserved and show them that we actually do care about them, lest we leave Middle America to languish until it has taken up the fascies. They are, most likely, already armed and primed for vengeance. My question to you, the listener, is, can we convince them to point their weapons away from us and toward the class enemy instead? And I found some quotes that I like that I'm going to read pertaining to, like, the will of the masses and, the sort of uneducated and the fuck just happened. I don't know what just happened.
It's still going, don't worry.
Okay. So, this is Franz Fanon in Wretched of the Earth. Quote, "It is true that if care is taken to use only a language that is understood by graduates in law and economics, you can easily prove that the masses have to be managed from above. But if you speak the language of every day, if you are not obsessed by the perverse desire to spread confusion and to rid yourself of the people, then you will realize that the masses are quick to seize every shade of meaning and to learn all the tricks of the trade. If recourse is had to technical language, this signifies that it has been decided to consider the masses as uninitiated. Such a language is hard put to it to hide the lecturer's wish to cheat the people and to leave them out of things." This next one is actually Gaddafi from the Green Book in 75. "The members of the parliament," and you can say the, fucking liberal democracy, "represent their respective parties and not the people, and the power established by such a coalition is the power of the combined parties and not that of the people. Under such systems, the people are the victims whose votes are vied for by exploitative competing factions who dupe the people into political circuses that are outwardly noisy and frantic, but inwardly powerless and irrelevant. Alternatively, the people are seduced into standing in long, apathetic, silent queues to cast their ballots in the same way that they throw their waste paper into dustbins. This is the traditional democracy prevalent in the whole world, whether it is represented by a one-party, two-party, multi-party, or non-party system. Thus, it is clear that representation is a fraud." This next one is Mao. He wrote this in 1934. "We should pay close attention to the well-being of the masses, from the problems of land and labor to those of fuel, rice, cooking oil, and salt. All such problems concerning the well-being of the masses should be placed on our agenda. We should discuss them, adopt and carry out decisions, and check up on the results. We should help the masses to realize that we represent their interests and that our lives are intimately bound up with theirs. We should help them to proceed from these things to an understanding of the higher tasks which we have put forward, the tasks of the Revolutionary War, so that they will support the revolution and spread it throughout the country, respond to our political appeals, and fight to the end for victory in the revolution." And this last one is actually from anarchist Mikhail Bakunin, 1866. Quote, "The artificial separation between manual and intellectual labor must give way to a new social synthesis. When the man of science performs manual labor and the man of work performs intellectual labor, free, intelligent work will become the glory of mankind, the source of its dignity and its rights."
We got all the classics in there.
Thoughts, questions, comments?
I agree.
Yeah.
Very, very profound.
I mean, that's all it is. It's all it takes. I agree with everything you said. It's a very well composed piece. Yeah, we went from Gaddafi to Mao to Bakunin. We did it all. It was a real trip around the globe.
Yeah, so nobody can get upset with me for not representing their fucking ideology, except for the liberal who said that shit.
Yeah, that's some. When you start to create a hierarchy of people, that's when you've crossed the line. So
No gods, no masters.
It was like bizarre to just interact with somebody who full on was just like, no, fuck everybody in Kentucky. They all deserve the blame for McConnell still being in power right now.
Yeah, it's not his fault at all.
Nah, he's a good guy. I'm sure his intentions are pure.
yeah, he's a good guy. Wouldn't work with him again professionally, but
Wish him all the best.
And then just the galaxy brain notion that, like, well, if it wasn't him in particular, then everything would be different. Like
if it wasn't Mitch McConnell, the systems of capitalism would just be like, well, can't do it.
yeah, like that was the lifeline, was just Mitch McConnell, you know? So, I mean, if that's the case, then you might want to go to his house. And,
I mean, it is true that McConnell is a savage for capitalism, and that's really the master that he serves. And that's why he doesn't give a fuck about anything. But
and fucking so is Amy McGrath, dude. Like that was
yeah,
the
yeah,
alternative.
that's the thing. The system doesn't like necessarily need him to keep carrying on because it'll find someone else.
I mean, how hard is it to find a fucking Coke-funded dipshit?
You mean that with a K?
Dave Rubin is a
yeah.
Coke-funded dipshit.
Wait, like Coca-Cola gave him money?
No. Oh, maybe. I don't know.
Coca-Cola likes his very generic reactionary politics.
Or they were like, we need someone who is gay. Here, this man. Sell Coke.
I mean, unfortunately, that's like
Gay
probably
person.
exactly how the board meeting went. They were just like, fuck, we just need a gay guy to say all this shit.
See, at least Pepsi were willing to represent the protester market.
Oh, yeah. If you're thirsty after an afternoon of fucking rioting and pillaging the wealthy people, the good people, well, then you, lowlife, deserve a Pepsi.
Get a Pepsi, the revolution has come.
That's right.
I was so worried you guys didn't remember that.
The Kylie Jenner thing or whatever it was.
Yep, exactly.
Yo, that's some shit you can't make up.
Is there any this week?
Wow,
Wow, that's some shit you can't make up.
Yeah, can't make that up. No. I have one thing. Let me see. You can make this shit up with Comrade. This is probably a huge letdown after last week, so I'm sorry.
I was about to say, do you have any any more? Is this one going to be like a dick cleaner or something?
No, there's no dicks this week. It's just, it's like not even that ridiculous. It just really struck me and I liked it. So the headline
High quality
is,
Merkin.
I will put the link in
Ooh,
chat.
bring back the Merkin.
Yeah,
High quality Merkins.
high quality Merkins.
Hear that, Karleen?
Yes.
Oh my god, that feedback is so bad.
Anyway, so the headline is
Wait, what?
quote unquote.
That picture.
Yeah, the picture is great and the headline is great. The headline to me just feels like it says make better choices. Endangered Hawaiian monk seals keep getting eels stuck up their noses and scientists want them to stop. It's like it's just
What the actual fuck?
It's like the highest level thing to me seems to be like you could just feel the frustration. It's like, damn it, we're working to make it so you don't die off. Like, survive, damn it. And they're like, no, I want to put an eel up my nose. I guess, yeah. It's a cute little seal.
It's rugged individualism for the seal.
These seals in Hawaii keep getting eels stuck up their noses. Part of the article, like a very large chunk of the article, is devoted to the fact that the scientists working with these eels don't actually really know why this is happening. They don't know why the eels are getting them, into the noses of the seals. There's a lot of like drama here. Claire Simeone, a veterinarian and monk seal expert based in Hawaii, told the Washington Post, "It's just so shocking. It's an animal. It has another animal stuck up its nose."
Oh god, I kept reading that over and over again and laughing to myself.
This is like the most straightforward fucking analysis.
I know, right? Yeah, the lead of this article is even great. A relaxed-looking juvenile Hawaiian monk seal lounges near a sandy white beach on some green foliage. Its eyes are half closed. It has a serene expression on its face, but the seal's calm demeanor is surprising. New paragraph. Why?
It looks fine, yo.
Well, there's a long black and white eel dangling from its right nostril.
It all began about 2 years ago when Littinen, the lead scientist of the monk seal program, woke up to a strange email from researchers in the field. The subject line was short. Eel in nose.
It was just like, we found a seal with an eel stuck in its nose. Do we have a protocol? There was none, listeners. There was no protocol. Part of the appeal is that, there's definitely the effect of like, yes, this is a journalistic article and this is what it's about. And like, it took several emails and phone calls before the decision was made to grab the eel and try pulling it out. And yeah, 2.5 foot dead eel in a seal nostril. And this has happened 3 or 4 times. Now the seals are doing great, but the eels did not survive.
Okay.
Yeah. It seems like some of the eels were already dead when they were found.
The entire article is just them being like, we don't understand what the fuck is happening.
Exactly.
So
they have some theories. But
when you say they're found dead, like, of course they're found dead inside these fucking things' noses, but do you, like, what are the theories?
I struggle to think of an eel really wanting to force its way into a nose, said Linden. Yeah, I don't know. One of the theories was that the seals are eating them and then barfing, and because sometimes barf goes out your nose. It's just a fact of life.
So they're just swallowing them whole, then?
Or they're using them. Oh no, I see. Okay, with an eel lodged in its nose, a monk seal would not be able to close the blocked nostril when diving, which means water could get into their lungs and cause problems. Which is probably why these scientists are like, God damn it.
It's only happened like 4 times, you say?
Yeah, I guess that's a lot.
Problem, guys. Are these boys endangered?
Yeah, they are. That's the thing.
Are they both endangered?
Not
I don't
yet.
know about eels.
Not yet, but at this rate, who knows?
Yeah, I guess.
They keep this shit up.
I mean, I'm sorry. I keep looking at the seal's face with this fucking thing in its nose, and I'm thinking, like, this boy's trying to get high or some shit.
Yeah, he's doing fashion. Fashion.
It's like the toad licking shit.
Yeah. And I mean, this article goes on to like talk about comments that were left, or no, it was tweets. Like somebody was talking about this on Twitter. This really just takes me back to like journalism school.
He looks so fucking like whatever. He looks so chill about it.
Yeah, that eels.
The final sentence is, if monk seals could understand humans, Littinen said he has a message for them. I would gently plead for them to stop.
That's correct. I could not make that shit up. I have to admit.
Yep.
That actually was just as good as last week.
Really?
Yeah, truly.
Wow.
Yeah, in a different way. The animal kingdom is a captivating place.
Yeah, full of mystery and intrigue.
Fucking animals trying to get high by sticking snakes in their fucking noses. I love to be in the jungle.
Right?
No church in the wild. Would we like to transition to Karleen's segment now?
Yes.
And let them introduce themselves.
Karleen.
Hi, I'm Colleen. On the line, I go by Cat because I don't want creepy people knowing
Recording from inside a radiator.
Hold on a second. I have to figure out what the fuck is going on with this feedback.
Just use your mic for both of you. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Hold on.
Just let her sit next to you. You love her.
I said this at the beginning before Craig came in.
I was just trying to view it like professional, you know? I don't know, man. Don't fucking...
You're doing it well. You're doing it great. It's fine.
Okay, we're setting up.
Professionally would be like in a studio.
We're figuring it out.
Also, update. I have no idea what's going on with the Georgia election.
Oh, yeah. You didn't touch on that. Well, I
update.
mean...
We didn't touch on it earlier, but it's looking like the Republicans are winning, but some people are calling it, have called it already for the Dems. It's like everything. I'm all fucking confused. See, Joe, when Joe's here, Joe would have been like fucking every 5 minutes like, telling me something about it.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like we're not going to suffer not winning, but only by a little bit.
But the margin's so fucking close. Oh, it wouldn't be funny if they had to do another one.
Oh my god. just never ends.
Perpetual state of what American politics wants to be, which is always just elections. It would reach its perfect ideal of what it is, because it's all just about raising funds for the donors and shit. So
enriching
All right.
the systems of capital.
We are situated.
you shall begin. Shall.
Do my check, Karleen.
Hello.
It's from your mic. It sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Okay, first off, I'm wicked nervous because it's me. But I literally wrote this 5 times because I wanted to get perfect and shit. Here we go. Or on sex workers. Social media platforms are deplatforming sex workers at an alarming rate. Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok keep putting up new guidelines in place to oppress sex workers. With all these platforms, if you mention you're a sex worker, you either get shadow banned or your account will get taken down. Sometimes they even keep up your content to keep views and make money off of you when you can't do it with them. Platforms will use sex workers to get views, downloads, and shit to that degree. Once they get what they want, your account will be removed or shadow banned. When using social media, being a sex worker, it's always good to proceed with caution. There's a lot of toxic people on the pro-sex worker sites. Men will degrade women for being sex workers and treat them less than human. A lot of people that work in the sex industry face a lot of backlash from places of work, family, and friends. Sex workers run the risk of losing their jobs if sex work isn't their prime source of income. They also run the risk of their families and friends disowning them. Everyone views sex work as a taboo career, but the same people have no trouble going to strip clubs, watching porn, or subscribing to someone's OnlyFans. When sex workers promote on social media, they run the risk of getting unsolicited dick pics or porn. I get 5 a day. It's very disturbing. Men demand freebies, and if we don't comply, they'll report our accounts and try to get us kicked off the platform. There's a bill in Senate called the CC Bill SISEA, which is basically trying to get rid of Pornhub and sites to that degree. In the bill, they want all sites to have a 24-hour support line, which is impractical for a lot of smaller sites. If someone reports a creator's content, then the site has 2 hours to remove it. So if someone can go to my page, report all of my fire-ass content, and it will get removed. This bill also puts sex workers at risk to being stalked, harassed, or even worse. They would want all sites to have taken down everyone's personal information, and if the site gets hacked, that's not good. That runs the risk of personal information getting out and stalking. And stalking is not fun. With OnlyFans, there's 2 types of accounts. You can have a paid sub price or a free sub price. You can run issues into both accounts with either complaints about how much you charge per month, and with the free account, free fans will complain about how much you charge for PPV or pay-per-view messages in locked posts. Working on OnlyFans and sites like that is a full-time job. Between promoting, getting ready, making content, it's a lot of work and takes up a big chunk of time and energy. Shit. When I tell people this, I get a ton.
You get told.
I get told it's not just it's just taking naked pictures of yourself. In all, don't be a dick to sex workers. We're people too, and we deserve equal respect just like everyone else. Support your local sex worker or all sex workers. Sub to their OnlyFans or mine. Don't degrade anyone for their line of work. For most people, this is their livelihood.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
Do you actually want to share your... Oh, you said your username on OnlyFans already. Can people just search for it?
Yes. I'm running with knives.
There is so
Soviet
much
flag
there.
in the background.
And every single picture, there's the Soviet flag.
How you doing?
Yes, that's great. Boobs and communism. No, there's so much there. There's just so many angle, and there's just, oh my god. It sounds like being on OnlyFans has all of the joys, quote unquote, of being on a content creator or a meme account person or whatever on Instagram or any other social media type thing, but times a billion, because you're not just getting people harassing you about your prices, you're also getting hey, here's my dick and stuff like that.
Yes, I got body shamed a lot too, saying oh, chubby girls aren't allowed on OnlyFans and shit like that. So I just told them to fuck off and suck a dick.
Good. Yeah, God, that must be the worst.
Yeah.
Jeez, yeah. Obviously, yeah, sex work is legit. Sex work is a choice. Women, anybody should be able to do it and have that be respected. I guess there is just like this mindset of like, you're a commodity, so I get to complain about how you're not exactly what I want or whatever.
Luckily, I fell into a lovely group of women that we support each other and shit. And if like we get like a rude ass guy, we just like share everything and make fun of them because that's what we do.
Good. There you go. Gotta have comrades.
Yeah.
Comrades anywhere. Help you get through anything.
Yeah, it's like a union
Damn
kind
right.
of. Well,
There's a
maybe
couple.
not.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying it's not quite a union because, like, right now the don't really have much bargaining power in terms of actual labor power because obviously they're up against fucking Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all these huge tech platforms.
Twitter's cool.
Twitter's cool.
I have nudes on Twitter.
I guess Twitter's cool.
It's was it Tumblr? Like you're not allowed to pass nudes anymore, and I didn't know that. So I'm banned from Tumblr and Bumble.
Fuck those
and
prudes.
Bing and what it's called Tinder. I'm banned from a lot of places now.
Tinder?
Yeah.
Really?
No.
Yeah, I'm banned from Tinder.
You're banned from Tinder?
I cannot go on Tinder.
How the fuck did that happen?
I don't think you're missing anything, but damn.
One dog like reported me.
That's ridiculous. Wow.
Yeah. So, but I'm on Reddit, I'm on Twitter, and TikTok.
So you've had a lot of shitty jobs.
A lot.
How is this experience similar to the ways that you've been like exploited in other workplaces and specifically by like men who see themselves as being superior or more powerful than you?
Like, see, I'm really smart when it comes to a lot of things. I'm gonna toot my own horn there, especially when it comes to like organizing and shit like that and building. And I'm gonna name this motherfucker Karim. He's a dick. He's sexist. And he would think that he was better than me because he was a man. And I would say, no, my ideas are better. And he got proven wrong.
You have to talk to the mic.
I am.
Okay. Can you guys hear? Because like I don't
Yeah,
know.
it sounds fun.
Yeah,
Okay. I can't. I'm using the headphones that are attached to the mic, so I'm not getting my own input or out. My output is not. Never mind. You guys know what I'm saying. Do you guys have any questions?
Yeah, I did a little bit of research about shadow banning. Do you want to say more about what that involves specifically?
Oh, yes. So I have 2 Instagram accounts. I have my main and my backup. And my main is right now shadow banned. I have a total of 383 followers. But on my main, I have 1,100 followers. And on my backup, I'm now shadow banned because I deemed a spicy picture of my leg. And like it basically, my content won't get shown on anyone's feed. And the best way to combat that is not to post for a few days and then you be all Gouda and your content will be seen. And we can't use any hashtags or mention like our link is in our bio or anything to that degree because that will result in a shadow ban and content getting taken down.
You mean like a link to your OnlyFans?
Yeah, like we can't put a link in our OnlyFans, so I made a link tree with all my thingies in it, and so that's all in my social media platforms because those are okay. But I can't label OnlyFans, so I have it like Lonely Friends or OnlyFans.
That's some bullshit.
It is.
Joe, I think, mentioned that SISEA or CCA or whatever it's called, that bill died, which is great, but he also mentioned, I think, that it might get revived. Like, it could get revived. I don't know how likely it is. He said that Congress has to deal with the Electoral College and other shit first, so cross your fingers.
Fingers crossed applesauce.
I think it's more than likely that similar legislation will pop up sometime soon just because the Sesta Fosta thing is like, basically it's like a revolving door for legislators to crack down on individual content creators under like the guise of fighting sex trafficking.
Yeah, I saw this like pretty good post on Instagram actually about that because that does seem to be the repeat thing, right? Like Congress is like sex trafficking is bad, but what the shit that they're trying to combat it with is just going to hurt tons of individual sex workers, sex adjacent workers and stuff. And this post I saw was like, stop equating sex work to sex trafficking. It is possible to empower sex workers to make their own choices and protect trafficking victims. Censorship and taking options away from sex workers not only does nothing to save victims or address trafficking, but contributes to stigma and ignorance, violence, and the lack of choice that drives people into high-risk situations. I see people blaming sex workers for somehow contributing to or condoning trafficking. People are desperate to further demonize sex workers, as well as to avoid pinning blame on the oppressive society that truly creates these conditions. And they made a really good point about coercion, abuse, and exploitation. Coercion, abuse, and exploitation exist in every single industry, but somehow no other industry is defined by it. I would never have worked a day in retail or food service if I was not forced to in order to survive. I endured verbal abuse, sexual harassment, wage theft, being coerced into working long and absurd hours without a break because I had no other options at the time. Most people in these industries have endless horror stories, yet I don't see anyone rallying to shut down these industries or rescue the employees like they do to sex workers who choose their jobs. Most of the pitfalls of sex work are the pitfalls of work, i.e. capitalism. And that user is Alprazolam Angel. That's a drug I've never been on.
Yeah, that's like Stop and Shop in a nutshell. I was overworked. I would have to do like 60 to 65 hours a week. I'd get paid part-time though. Treated as a manager. I got sexually assaulted and I got told it was my fault. A lot of fucked up shit at Stop and Shop. So don't shop at Stop and Shop or work there because they're dickwads.
Fuck that.
You heard it first.
Yeah. And I mean, let's not forget our comrade Joe, who is not here because he's being continually coerced into working longer hours than
Boy's got to sleep.
Yeah. He's
rolling out that COVID and they overworking that poor boy.
Yeah.
The vaccine, not the actual, like they're not, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we're not kidding either. Like the reason that Joe is not on is because he's been constantly working and literally doesn't have time to sleep.
Yeah.
Getting that COVID vaccine into people's arms.
Right in there.
Mm-hmm. Just like that fucking eel with that seal's nose.
Yeah. Yep.
It all comes back.
Well, shit. Karleen, that was dope. You got any other thoughts you'd like to share?
Probably, but I can't think of any right now.
Just tell Jesse to record them and put them in the final cut, I guess.
Sex work is work.
Sex work is work.
Fuck capitalism.
I work hard at my jobs, and I have a banging body, so like...
You're so cute. Thank you, baby.
See, Jesse's allowed to laugh at those things.
Damn right. Well,
all right. That was a wonderful segment.
Yeah.
She just showed me her laptop screen, and it's just like a full screen image of the seal with the fucking dead eel in its nose.
Can we use it as the art this week?
Yeah, we're gonna use that as the art. Like the second I saw that, I was like, "Well, that's the art."
Scientists want them to stop.
Like, I just keep imagining like they're going to like the beaches and talking to the seals with their eels in their nose and just being like, "What's going on? Like, what's the underlying issue? Why do you have to do this?"
I'm just imagining like one of those fucking Dateline style segments where like they're documenting
like an episode of Intervention, but for seals.
Right. They're like documenting the poor economic conditions of like the seals and the ways that they're coping by like shoving dead. Oh fuck. Oh fuck.
Wow.
That's great. I had no idea. I really didn't know that was gonna bang this hard. I was like, I'll never outdo the Testacuzzi.
Oh dear God. I try to keep things a little bit hinged this time, and then they just became unhinged anyways.
Yeah.
We love to see it, hear it, know it, feel it, be it, do it.
Comrade Scott tells you what to watch.
It's Hayao Miyazaki's birthday. He's 90 years old, so you should go watch My Neighbor Totoro.
Yeah.
That's my recommendation, motherfucker. Also, watch Howl's Moving Castle. That's his best movie.
Get on the cat bus.
Speaking of my mom, she got us 2 Christmas presents. One was the picture of the Indian squirrel, like the framed one. And the other one is, it's like a little cat teepee thing, but it's in the shape of Totoro.
Oh, do they go in it? Do they love it?
They're too fat.
Oh, no. You like them big.
It's like the ultimate twist.
Yeah, I'm like, I feel like a bad cat dad, but Squirrel and Bindi eat the same food. They're from the same litter. They have the same genes, and like Squirrel is several pounds lighter.
Yeah, apparently Sansa, who I always call Little Sansa, because I think she's so small and so dainty. Apparently she's like bigger than an average cat. Like an average cat is like 9 pounds, and she's like supposed to be 10 pounds, and she's actually 12 pounds. And then Arya is like 15 pounds.
Yeah, when I took Bindi and Squirrel to the vet a couple of years, I think they were 1. They were like 9 and 12 pounds or something like that. I don't know what to do. Bindi's just fucking lazy. Like, there's no way to sugarcoat it.
Yeah.
Got to put him on the water treadmill.
Oh, that cinder block was on.
Yeah.
You working out?
Like a month ago, they tried to get Hasako on a treadmill. Didn't go well.
Some cats should just be allowed to live their lives, I think. Like every time I talk to my mom and the cat walks into frame, we immediately have to start talking about how fat the cats are. But like Josh is just like, I just want my cats to be happy.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I'm having this kind of like crisis as a cat owner because I myself am overweight. And it's like, if I can't find the motivation to lose the weight and I have complete control of like every aspect of my cat's environment and like they still are somewhat overweight, then like I cannot blame that on the fucking cat at that point.
But would they really be happier if they weighed less? Who knows?
I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, Bindi is still she can still jump. She's still like a gymnast.
Yeah.
And when she wants to be, she just rarely wants to be.
They can just get anywhere. It's fine. We borrowed, like, one of my old roommates bought the Fast Cat treadmill. Not the treadmill, like the hamster wheel for her cats, and her cats didn't like it, so she let us borrow it, and our cats don't like it, and we're just keeping it around because we're probably going to get a kitten at some point, and my hope is that the kitten will like it. But fuck it, just if I was a cat, I would just want to lie around all the time. If I was a cat,
I'm a human and I just want to lie around all the time.
Yeah.
I had to have that conversation with my doctor, and that's always like a demoralizing, embarrassing, degrading conversation to be like, yes, I know I'm still fat. I was fat the last time I came in. I, made some lame effort to lose a couple of pounds, but I'm depressed all the time. And I don't get the happy chemicals from exercise. So, like, I don't know what to tell you.
Me neither.
I mean, I would do drugs, but I mean, I know how that fucking goes. So
seriously, you just go to the doctor and be like, you want me to lose weight? Fine, I'll do coke again. But everything else, go to hell. And it'll be your fault. The blood will be on your hands.
Blood will be on your hands.
Your hands, doctor.
There's a lot of these interesting cat wheels.
Yeah.
It's basically the fucking like treadmill from 2001, The Circle.
Mm-hmm. Oh, hey.
And you can't go all the way around.
This is not related to anything, but can I recommend a thing to watch?
Does it have cats in it? Is it cats? Better not be cats.
There's no cats in it.
I haven't seen cats.
I haven't either. I tried to watch it on an airplane, and I just could not. I just had to stop after like 10 minutes, 5 minutes or something like that. I was like, I'm really going to be open-minded about this. And then I was just like, nope, don't enjoy this.
When there's a really desperate time and you just like can't find anything else to watch, maybe I'll put it on.
Just try it out.
Have you guys seen what's it called?
You can recommend something, of course.
Hold on. No, wait.
Well, don't let Jesse lose his train of thought. What are you talking about?
Who's the Polish guy who did the CIA movie? He was in The Office. John Krasinski.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
A Quiet Place. That's what it's fucking
Polish guy who did
when you said you were attempting to shut the fuck This is my train of thought. I knew it ended with something Polish. That's how I put the pieces together. When you said you opened your mind and then you quickly decided against it, I just thought of the fucking Thing in A Quiet Place, like ripping its like skull chunks open to hear better and then slamming them shut again.
Oh my god. I think I purposefully didn't look at it because it was too scary when I saw that. That movie was very well done.
Part of the green side of the part. Also the birth, I guess, too, was pretty good.
Oh god, yeah. And the part where she like steps on a nail.
Mm.
Anyway, the thing I wanted to recommend is Mozart in the Jungle, which is a TV show. I had it recommended to me like several years ago by when I was doing like documentary video production work, my old boss recommended it to me because his wife is a professional like opera singer, and I don't think you really need a background or any kind of connection to classical music to enjoy it, but it's about a fictional symphony in New York City, and it's about like the main character is this oboe player, and I used to play the oboe, and I think they just wrote the best perfect oboe player, like the best combination of like kind of awkward and secretly really like punk rock and open-minded. And the main attraction of the show is this symphony fires its old, well, they don't fire him, they remove the old conductor who's played by Malcolm McDowell. He's like this hilarious British guy, he's a really good character, and they replace him with Gael Garcia Bernal, who plays this guy Rodrigo, and he's just, he reminds me of my friend, one of my old friends, who another of my friends described as an espresso bean. He was like, I couldn't date her. It would be like dating an espresso bean. Like, he's just like a passionate artist, and he's like from Mexico, and he's just like a huge mess. And he gets into like him and the oboe player character have this really like ridiculous, weird, complicated relationship. And there's just a lot of good characters. And it's the first show that I've seen in a long time that's made me want to like go on fan fiction site. Like, not really. Like, I don't really read fan fiction. I have never really read fan fiction, but I've like known a lot of people who write it for some reason. And I know why it's written. It's written because shows will have characters who have relationships that feel so real that you just want to grab onto it and like squeeze it. And I don't know. This is like, it's a really good show and it's ridiculous. There's this great scene where the Rodrigo guy and the old conductor guy and some other conductors are being motion captured into a video game or something, and they're all just like wearing these motion capture suits, and they get into this huge fist fight. And it's just like, it's got this great mix of the absurd and like just good characters and good relationships, and I don't know, it's great. There's also a great plot line about like the orchestra's union trying to fight for basic cost of living increases, and that's really good. And Bernadette Peters is in it, and she's really good. And yeah, it also has reminded me of how much I do like classical music, and Josh has been watching it with me, and like I walked back into the house yesterday after doing something, and he was like listening to Schubert really loud, and I was like, oh, hey, that's cool. And he got his violin out, and I don't know, it's just great. It's just a really good show. It's on like fucking Amazon Prime, unfortunately, but I'd say if you torrent it.
Fuck that.
What?
Fuck that Amazon. I had some fun.
Use somebody else's Amazon Prime.
Yeah, pirate that shit. Fuck you, Jeff Bezos. I don't give a shit about your weird body shape. I don't know.
Iguana eating ass.
Your iguana eating weird veins popping out of your arms, motherfucking ass. He looks weird.
He's a weird looking guy.
My only point. All right, I guess we can wrap up.
Put a bow on it.
You say put a bow on it?
Yeah, I said put a bow on it.
See, yeah, we're introducing some different characters in 2021, so Dave might not appear.
That sounds like Wimpy. It's like in my mind that Wimpy. He's the guy who will pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today. I'll find
From
you.
Popeye?
No. Oh yeah, is he from? Yeah, I guess he's from Popeye. I think you're right. No, I think he is. I'll gladly pay you Tuesday.
I feel like I would need to do a little bit more workshopping on the woke Reagan character before I'm ready to introduce that to the show.
Yeah, and the Bernie in the tank. Those are both very good.
I think I almost have that one. It's harder than you might think because you got to be careful of the controls of the tank and there's probably civilians or whatever. And chances are Bernie's eyesight's not so great at this point, but
maybe Jane is driving it and he's just doing other stuff.
No, the whole essence of the character has to be in the fact that he's multitasking.
Yeah.
J. Wellington Wimpy, generally referred to as Wimpy, is one of the characters in the comic strip Popeye, created by E.C. Steger in 1931. So I was right.
There's a
I watched an obscene amount of Popeye when I was a kid for some reason, and I fucking hated it, but I watched it.
There's actually a burger restaurant chain in the UK called Wimpy, and their burgers are very terrible. They're not good. Don't eat them.
Oh. So it's not a recommendation for Wimpy burgers. Those go on the shit list. We don't like them.
I mean, no shit on you. If you do like them, that's great. I just would not recommend them.
I would say no, comma, shit on you if you like them.
Nah, shit on you.
Indeed.
See, I just need some time to warm up. I realized earlier that if I was to do Dave in the cave, not in the cave, then I would just be doing like a gay voice, and it's questionable. So
Dave Rubin's not really a stereotypical.
Yeah, but the way I do his voice.
I mean, you wouldn't be doing it because he's gay. You'd be doing it because he's Dave Rubin.
I noticed that he's very he pronounces every single syllable in a word when he says it. He's one of those people. He talks with that extra bit of diction. And it's
legitimate.
To sound smart.
Well, it's like he's giving himself fucking time, because he doesn't really have anything to say. So, if I did that, there would be a lot less long extended silences, which I get made fun of for pretty regularly. But it's because I don't do that.
We love the silence. Yeah. Enjoy the silence. Sorry.
Who's making fun of you for being silent? I'm gonna beat him up.
It's like guys who get out of prison because they learn to talk fast. I'm serious.
What is happening? Are we in reality? Okay.
It's just a thing. There's just a lot. There's quirk. I mean, you can kind of tell if someone's done a lot of time. There just are quirks that we pick up. There's defense mechanisms. You know what I mean? It's tough. That's another thing that is sort of hard to parse out ideologically, because to survive in prison, you have to generally become very tribal. And if you're white, basically you have to be a white nationalist, a white supremacist.
Yeah.
And a bigot, and it's very difficult to deprogram. There's a fucking reason they don't want to send Julian Assange to prison. That's all I'll say.
To eat him alive.
We started the episode, and that's how we'll end it. All right. With American prison is bad, and Julian Assange, though he might be bad himself, deserves fair treatment.
Nobody should be put in a fucking cage.
No.
Yes. On that note, my name is Scott. I will not be put in a cage. Shouldn't have said that. That was weird. Sorry, guys. Follow me on Twitter, Death Mullet. Follow my music on Bandcamp and SoundCloud. It's Sweaty Wife.
Sweaty Wife.
Jesse. Or Ellie, you can go.
I'm Ellie. I need to get on Instagram so I can figure out if Hosiko won the Chunk of the Month bracket for sure. I think he did.
It's of the month? Oh.
Yeah, not of all time. They just do that every month. Oh no, it was. You know what it was? It was a special celebrity Chunk of the Month bracket. He's too special for their pedestrian regular Chunk of the Month brackets. This is basically to confirm that he is the best chunk of all time.
Chunk of the year.
Chunk of forever. Anyway, yeah, I'm Ellie. Don't come looking for me because you're not. Jesse, go.
Jesse, find my music on SoundCloud.com/contingents.Boston, and you can find this working group's website at comrade-rosie.org. Click on Getting Involved. Select one or more mutual aid groups to donate time or money to, because people really need your help right now. This is not a pleasant time for anybody, except for maybe the capitalist class, which is why we make this podcast about them, because they're bad. Yeah, fuck them. Hold on, I'm gonna get Karleen over here.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Your move, creep.
Alright, do an outro.
Do it.
Hi, I'm Kat. You can find me on OnlyFans, Twitter, Reddit, Snapchat, sadly, and a lot of other places.
What's your handle?
Running with Knives.
There you have it.
Badass name.
Yeah. For some reason, I thought it was Dancing with Knives. That would also be badass, but.
All right.
Reminds me of a David David Lynch short, but we won't get into that right now. You can follow us on Facebook. You can find us on Twitter. You can find us on Instagram at Epic Incredulity. We're also on YouTube. But more importantly, we are on Patreon at Epic Incredulity. Jesse is reading. What are you reading right now? Are you still doing
Socialism, Utopian and Scientific by Friedrich Engels.
You just finished up Reform or Revolution?
Yes.
My comrade Rosa.
It's queued up in the feed.
Go listen to that.
Do we run out of Diane de Prima, whatever that is that Hava recorded?
Yes. Okay. Hold on. Is that even for the? I don't think we released that to the public people. You can't talk about that. That's secret. It's secret patron shit.
Secret patron shit. You didn't hear that. Forget it.
Yeah, you ain't that special public. I mean, you guys are special, but you're not patron special.
Everyone is
really
wonderful
laying it on.
and valid and loved, but some of them are closer to us than others.
You are patron special, but you still have to give us money if you want extra stuff, okay?
Just how it is.
It's a complicated, yeah.
I mean, fucking capitalist realism, hello. Although, we have been fair. All the stuff that is public domain will eventually end up in the public feed, okay? Because we didn't write it, we just said it. We said what someone else said a long time ago, or whatever, again. So, eventually you'll get it, if you haven't yet.
And every single website is saying a different thing about the Georgia election, so if you're listening to this, you probably know better than us.
Oh, shit. Yeah. New York Times says Warnock slightly ahead.
Every single website says a different thing.
Oh, my God.
CNN still has Purdue and all stuff. What the fuck? I think the New York Times is still saying Ossoff and Warnock are winning. It's a mess. Fucking democracy. How does it work?
Yeah,
we don't know yet.
Regardless of how you feel about Gaddafi, he was fucking 100% correct when he wrote that shit in the Green Book. So, I mean, that's non-negotiable. That is the truth.
Yep.
Go to comrade-rosie.org, like Jesse said earlier.
Yep. You're really uncomfortable about the Gaddafi shit.
No, I'm not at all.
Yeah.
I actually don't remember if you said go to comrade-rosie.org yet or not.
I did.
Okay, good. Also, like we said, work towards trying to organize your workplace. If it's not involved in a local mutual aid group or your local housing unit, something to fight against the tide that tries to bury us all, known as capitalism. We love you. That's your epoch. Good night.
Support your local sex work.
Support your local sex workers.
Yes.
Yes. Kanye and Kardashian are getting divorced. That's the last news of the day. And if you remember how good 808 and Heartbreaks was, the music is going to be something wild.
Yeah, okay.
Fuck off!
Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah, okay.
You're good, okay. It's fine. That's great. Art is great. Rap is great. Kanye is a good rapper. I like Jay-Z better, but that's just
Yeah, good. Okay. I don't want to get
like,
I just want to say hi, Bernie.
It's like the most dismissive response. Just doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, good. Okay.
I am not mad. I am laughing. You are owned.
Oh, you fucked that one up. Do it again.
Yeah.
I am not mad. I am laughing. I am not owned. You are owned.
There you go. There you go.
Fuck you, Brutal's architecture rules.
It's like, it's that.
Then what the fuck? What's the alternative? Just do like normal Reagan? Just be a racist prick? I don't think so. I can't.
I already am eating from the trash can all the time.
I will play Animal Crossing on my phone.
Or whatever.
Eating 2 hot dogs at once.
He is already eating from the trash can.
All the time.
Of the hot dog vendor.
The trash can of ideology. I'm just fucking with voices now. Oh, I can hear it.
Oh, that's a.
This is the future.
They put the sniff in there, then I will just play Animal Crossing on my phone.
Oh my god.
Do I sound like an alien?